He said that maybe I should have realized what I had before calling quits with Val. I didn't notice the username! You know, like those couples on YouTube that pull pranks on each other all the time? I faked being dead. I faked cheating on my fiance. I figured if I can make amends with him, I can start getting the help I need to turn things around in my life. What? The joke is basically telling your partner you want to break up or that you want a divorce. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica Laylah, and happy December, everyone. When you think of this time of year, what do you think about? Family gathered around the table, people eating turkey, perhaps? Christmas cookies? Gathering around the fire, falling snow, lighting of the candles, perhaps? No matter what your holiday traditions are, it's all about family. But for some people, family isn't always a good thing. So, back in October, I did Halloween-themed content, so I thought for December, maybe we could try and get into the spirit a little bit, but in the Jessica Laylah way. A lot of people, when it comes to the holidays, have to spend time with toxic family, so I thought it might be fun to read some of the most toxic family Reddit stories. I've done a few, relationship Reddit stories, so I kind of feel like this fits in that category. Now, these are all gonna be kind of crazy, kind of toxic, so prepare yourself. My main go-to for these posts is this Instagram page called Toxic Reddit. They're a page that curates some of the most toxic stories from across various subreddits, and I use them for almost every single one of my videos. If you're into toxic Reddit stories, you should go give them a follow. They will be linked down below. So everyone just settle in, cozy on up, and let's just dive right in with some family drama. By the way, I consider husband and wife to be family because if you look at the definition of family, technically husband and wife are family. So I don't want to hear anything about the comments. I, 28 female, made a joke with my husband, 29 male, and it's costing me my marriage with a man I truly love. I need help fixing it? Created this count a couple of minutes ago to get advice. A joke I made is spiraling out of control, and I'm losing a man I truly love over it. My husband and I have been married for 4 years now. I truly do love him with everything I have. I can't see a life without him. I took some stupid advice from some of my girlfriend regarding a joke that they have done with their husbands or boyfriend. The joke is basically telling your partner you want to break up or that you want a divorce. I never wanted to do it and thought it was cruel to do, especially to someone you love, but I was convinced after kept pestering me about it, as I was the only one that haven't done it yet out of the 5 of us. They further convinced me about it when they told me the reactions their partners had afterwards. Stupidity, I did it last week, and my husband's reaction wasn't what I thought it would be. I honestly thought that he would try to talk to me, or beg, or make suggestions like my friends' partners have done, but he didn't. We had dinner and was watching a movie when I told him I'm not happy anymore and I think we should get a divorce. He looked at me for a couple of seconds and I swear I looked like something broke in his eyes. He got up, walked into our bedroom, and within 10 minutes came out with a bag and walked out of the house without saying a word to me. I tried to stop him, especially after seeing him with his bag packed, and told him it was just a joke and I didn't mean it, but he basically just brushed me off and walked out. I tried to get a hold of him, messages, calls, emails, video chats, but he isn't answering me at all. I talked to his friends, but none of them want to tell me where he is, and if they answer me, that's not a full sentence. I went to his work, but they refused me entry into the building. I have tried his parents, but they don't want to get involved as well. As his siblings, the only messages I got was from his sister telling me a joke or not effed up. What? I've sent too many messages about it being a joke, and even sent screenshots of my conversations with my girlfriends about the joke is proof that it was a joke, and then I'm not backtracking all of a sudden, but nothing. My friends didn't have any real advice, and told me to just give him time and that he will get over it. Everything came down on me yesterday when I was served with actual divorce papers. It felt like someone slapped me in the face and hit me and continued to hit me. I was and still am in so much pain. I frantically tried to get a hold of him, but all I got back was he has nothing to say and I should talk to his lawyer. How can I get the man I love back? I don't want to lose him. I made a stupid joke, I know that, and now it's breaking my world apart. Edit already had questions in my DM about this. We've had no issue that I know of. We were laughing the whole time throughout the day, had fun and everything. No fight or distance recently between us, nothing like that at all. Everything was basically perfect. And then in a follow-up comment, They did it with their partners, and nothing like this happened to any of them. According to them, it actually made their partners more tentative and affectionate towards them. So it wasn't a joke, it was a manipulation tool. I can see that. Be honest, this was never a joke, you just wanted to use those words to control him. No, I would never want to control him. I can see why you would think this way, but I really was just joking. Dang! That's a crazy situation. And I kind of feel like something else had to have been happening, okay? Like, I don't feel like your average person would just be like, okay, if you say you want to get divorced, even if it's a joke. The fact that he straight up left the room, immediately started packing, and then headed out tells me that there's more to the story than she might even realize. Joke or not, I don't think that's a funny thing to do to someone. I have never understood pranks like these. I have never understood these jokes that people do. You know, like those couples on YouTube that pull pranks on each other all the time? I faked being dead. I faked cheating on my fiance. All of these things I have always thought were really cruel. I don't care if your friends did it and they thought it was funny and everybody laughed it off after. That doesn't matter. I think these jokes are inappropriate, and I don't really know why he just said, okay, let's go get a divorce, go talk to my lawyer. I don't know this guy's side of it. It would be really interesting to know his perspective on things, but if your marriage had been fine up until that point and this was the one thing that sent it over, I feel like there has to be more to the story than she's telling, or something she doesn't realize about their marriage. I feel like there's way more to the story. But that's really crazy. How to, 25 male, make amends with my brother, 23 male, after betraying him years ago. My brother John and I didn't have the best relationship. It started off strong, but as I got older, I viewed life as a game and spent my time belittling him. Everything was a challenge to me. I loved outdoing him when I could, but I started to see him pass me quickly in accomplishments. The one area I always had was women. He was always a lover boy, and I know how to keep it real. What? But then about 4 years ago, he started dating one of the most gorgeous women I ever seen. He was head over heels in love with her. I never thought about crossing that line, but a friend of mine told me I couldn't pull her. So I said, F it! Time to prove him wrong. It took a few months, but I managed to start hooking up with her. They had been together a year at this point when he found out he was hurt and has been no contact ever since. This impacted me in the most horrible way possible. My parents went low contact with me and stopped giving me the assistance I need. I lost a lot of people to the situation. I'll be honest, I don't make money. My brother makes substantially more, and a lot of money for not just his age, but in general. My parents are comfortable in retirement, and my oldest sister and her husband make good money. But because of the situation, my sister sided with John, understandably, in his low contact, and she provides me no help. I was very distracted when I'm younger, and made bad decisions that led me to a point where I bounced to retail job to retail job. I figured if I can make amends with him, I can start getting the help I need to turn things around in my life. What? My family would stop being low contact and be more generous. I texted him the first time in years and got no reply. Messaged him on social media from alt accounts, no reply. I can't just go visit him because he lives and works in DC and that's far, so how do I make amends? Wow! You know when you read a story and like just privilege seeps off of it? Here's the thing. So he works retail jobs. That's fine. I'm not shaming anyone for that, but he wants to make amends with his family so that they can help him financially rather than him pull himself up and do something about his own situations. He's not sorry. He doesn't sound sorry at all for breaking up a year-long relationship that his brother had with someone. Nothing about this post is like, I truly regret and I've truly grown as a person. It's, I want to get back in contact with my family so that they can offer me assistance. Why should they even do that when you completely destroyed your brother's relationship with this woman? He sounds like a total loser, not because of the jobs he's working, not because of his inability to make enough money to cover himself, apparently. He's a loser because he doesn't realize how he wants to use his family and how he wants to make amends, not because of what he did, but because he needs financial aid, is crazy. My family would stop being low contact and be more generous. It's also great to see when family members side with the person who was clearly wronged in the situation and not the other person, because we're family. We should have no! I'm telling you right now, if a sibling ever did that to me, they're dead to me. Anyways, on to the next one. dealing with my entitled 15-year-old who disapproves of my beer budget. Thought I'd share my current conundrum regarding my 15-year-old daughter. She works part-time at a local Vietnamese restaurant washing dishes, which, I must admit, I respect. However, things start to go downhill when we talk about where her earnings go. Despite her age, she manages her own earnings. I wanted to instill some financial responsibility early on. However, we hit a snag when I recently used a portion of her income to buy beer. This led to an intense argument, with her protesting that her hard-earned money was being spent on alcohol. Now let me make one thing clear. I handle all the household expenses. I pay for food, electricity, rent, you name it. She works, goes to school, and that's pretty much the end of her contribution to our shared living arrangement. No house chores, no pitching in for groceries, nothing. Her argument is that she earned the money and therefore should have the final say on how it's spent. But I believe that living in a household means contributing to the cost regardless of age or income source. I'm not a villain for expecting her to contribute. What baffles me is her attitude. She has no qualms about living under this roof, using the resources and facilities, but the moment she's asked to pitch in financially, even in a small way, she balks. And then this woman says, "My daughter was an accident. Her father died in a freak amusement park accident. His head was completely severed by a carousel ride. Life is hard for me." I'm not laughing at that. I think this post has to be fake because of that. There's no... I didn't notice the username. Let's break down the situation. So, you have a 15-year-old who works and goes to school and does all the things, and you want them to buy you beer. It's basically the entire story summed up in one. I don't believe the story is real because of that. A lot of people in the comments are agreeing on that end. The thing is, if you wanted to instill financial responsibility upon your child, beer is not the thing that you should have them contribute to. You could sit down and talk to them and be like, hey, so what if we bought this thing together? Or what if you paid a small share of this? Like, if you want to be that type of parent that is like, pay for this thing because you live here. The job of a parent is to clothe, shelter, and feed their child. I don't, like, you want them to contribute at 15 when they have stuff going on? Anyways, on to the next one. Okay, my 29 male brother, 31 male, is marrying my high school sweetheart, 28 female, and I refuse to attend the wedding. Whoo! This one's gonna be spicy. It's like those girls that are doing makeup as they talk about someone who was brutally murdered on their YouTube channels. I, 29 male, dated this girl Val, 28 female, fake name when I was 17 and her 16. We were close. We swapped virginities. I've never heard it phrased like that. Yeah, you want to take my virginity and I take yours? Let's swap virginities. Is that a thing? Is that a saying? Hey, you want to swap virginities? I found we were incompatible around the time I turned 18. Val was understandably upset. I told her she needed to let go. And it took her a year to move on. As time went on, I regretted breaking up with Val, but she was in a committed relationship with someone else by the time I realized I wanted her. About 5 years after breaking up with Val, I found out she had unknowingly moved 3 blocks away from my house. We hung out a few times, and I walked her home from work since we both unknowingly worked right across the street from each other. I took this as a sign that we were going to get back together, but Val unfortunately told me that she no longer has the feelings that she did when we were in high school, and that it's best to stay friends as we were, you know, when they were swapping virginities. I was sad, but I respected her decision. I ended up moving to a different state shortly after that. A year later, my brother Nick, 31 male, had asked me about my history with Val. I was confused on how he would know her because they never met and Nick was already out of high school when Val and I met. I sugarcoated it and said she was just a high school fling. Nick asked if it would bother me if he started to hang out with her because at the time, his best friend was just murdered. Whoa! I was not prepared for that! And her long-term relationship had just ended and they both wanted someone F their feelings out with. I said I didn't care given the circumstances, and it probably wouldn't last because they didn't have genuine feelings for each other. This was in 2019, and now in 2023, Nick and Val are planning their wedding. Nick asked me to be his best man, and I said no. He was confused, and I told him he's marrying my high school sweetheart, and there's no way I can stand at the altar and watch him marry her. He even threw in the fact that he asked me if I could date her before even doing anything, and I said I didn't care, and now all of a sudden I do. I told him I always cared, I just didn't think it would last because he's such a And she's the sweetest person you'd ever meet, and it was sucky situation that they even started hooking up in the first place, and it doesn't make sense that she chose him over me! He said that maybe I should have realized what I had before calling it quits with Val. I guess he told Val what was said because she later messaged me saying that we were literal kids when we dated and I needed to let it go, and it's weird that now I'm suddenly not okay with them together when it's been years since it first started. I didn't argue with her. I just informed my family I wouldn't be attending the wedding. My mom, stepdad, and most of my family are all taking Nick's side, saying it's been well over 10 years and I had the chance to speak up, while my younger twin siblings are on my side saying Nick should respect bro code. I'm at a loss right now. Am I being unreasonable refusing to be a part, let alone attend the wedding? Should I just keep silent and let it happen? Too long didn't read. My brother is marrying my high school sweetheart and I refuse to attend the wedding. So it's been, as people said, someone did the math for me in the comment section, it's been 11 years. And I know, like, he didn't expect them to end up together. He thought it was just gonna be a hookup type of situation, but my guy, what did you expect? They didn't even last that long, and then he found they were incompatible around the time he was 18. So they didn't even have, like, a super long relationship. 11 years later, she's gonna marry his brother. If he did want to get back together with her, it probably would have never actually happened. It wasn't going to happen because when they started hanging out again, she said she no longer has feelings that she did when they were in high school and that it's best to stay friends as they were. So it would have never happened irregardless. They would have never gotten back together even if his brother hadn't moved in. His brother asked for permission and then they ended up engaged in 2023. So I really don't know what he expected. He's mad. He calls his brother a D-head. Obviously, this guy still has some residual feelings from when they were swapping Virginia, from when they were together as teens. So he doesn't really have a right to be mad because he gave them permission. Not that they really needed it, but he still gave them permission to hook up. So I really don't know what he expected out of this. Well, I think that's where we're gonna cut it off for the night. So many toxic posts. So yeah, hopefully everybody enjoyed. I genuinely hope everybody's having a happy holiday. But you know what? If you're not having a good time with your family, or you're just not having a good time in general, you're welcome here. Let's bring it in. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed. Happy holidays, and hopefully I will see you all here next time.